Hey everyone, how's everyone doing today? My name is Gina and I am doing great. Are we ready for another day of Craftmas? I know I am. So, today we're going to be doing 4 simple watercolor Christmas cards, holiday cards, right? So, these should not take very long to do. That's the whole point of them, is not to spend hours and hours on them. So, with that said, let me tell you what I'm using. I have already, as you can see, blocked out 4 cards. And I'm using my Fabrigiano watercolor paper. I got this a few years ago for Christmas, and I'm just now using it. So, I've already created my card back or stock, you know, the thing that we're going to glue this onto. And I just used my 110 cardstock paper, cut it in half, and then scored it to an A2 size card. So we have that, and then our watercolor is by Mungo. And I do have my brushes, and I'm going to be using some script liners here by Master's Touch, I believe is what these are. And then of course I'm going to be using my snap brushes as well. Let's see, I probably just need these 3 for right now. Okay, so let's get started. So I started with doing like a little regular ornament. So I used my template there to create a circle, and I wanted it to be blue. I like to do the wet on wet technique. So I took clean water and just put it inside the circle. A little bit of it did come out. It bled a little bit, but it's okay. You know, these are homemade cards, right? They are not made by a machine. They are made by a human being, you know, and we cannot always be perfect. So, but I used aquamarine blue, and then add a little bit of indigo right there just to kind of darken the edges up. And then I tried to get rid of the bleedage there a little bit. It helped a little, but it's still a little wonky, but that's fine. Then I moved on to the second card, which is a group of trees. And again, the wet on wet technique, I just prefer it. I really like it. So I just wet tree shapes with the water, and then just used a mixture of sap green and indigo to create the trees. And now I'm moving on to the wreath, and I will talk a little bit about the wreath near the end of the video, my thoughts about it. But first, I just wanted to go ahead and put the pine needles around the wreath. You know, in my head, it was a wreath made out of pine needles, right? So I just used a mixture of greens to make like an evergreen color, and just short little strokes to create the wreath of pine needles. And then I will add some leaves in it and some berries. The leaves is a combination of indigo with a little bit of sap green in it, to make like a tealish color, I guess you would say. And then the berries will end up being red. So yeah, I really did like making the pine needles. It was very therapeutic. And my eyeglasses are in. That was who called. My eye doctor called to tell me my glasses were here, and I was like, yes. I was wondering about them this morning. So here I am making the leaves onto the wreath here. I will end up darkening that up a little bit later on, and creating a little bit of depth inside of them, instead of them being just one-dimensional looking. And here I am putting in my berries, which is cadmium red, I think is all that I used for that. And then I take just plain water and kind of go beside some of the berries just to have it bleed a little bit into the clear water. I really loved the look of that. I saw Emma LaFay, I think is her name, do that, and I really liked it. Then I just took the script liner and used brown to make kind of like twigs going around. And here I'm using gold to make just like little floral berries outside. And there's why I'm using a little bit of the darker teal to give it a little bit of depth in the leaves there. Now I'm just using my script liner with a little bit of green just to add a little bit more detail, like kind of connecting some of these berries together, some of the gold dots together, just to make it look a little bit fuller. I just felt like it needed it. Now I'll move on to the last card, and it is the little Christmas tree. I do this almost every year. I love, 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 love this because it's so simple, but it is so cute. Again, starting with the wet on wet to make the container that the tree is in, right? I just used red for that. I go back up and kind of add a little bit more color to the ornament here. Try to shape it up a little bit better. Which I think it worked. And now I'm going on to the trees and using the sideways technique to kind of put the leaves and branches into the trees. I used this, I think this is a rigger, I think, this rigger brush. It could be script, I'm not sure. I should have probably used a little bit thicker one. I probably should have used a rigger because I think this is a script liner. And I think the limbs would have been a little bit better, but I like the way it looked anyway. It didn't look too bad. The color, I did use the same color as before, but just added a little bit more purple to it to make it a little bit darker color. Now I'm going to go in with some more of that darker green and just kind of add a little bit more detail to the wreath. Now I'm using Van Dyke Brown to make the trunk of the tree and the branches of this tree. This takes a steady hand. Now I'm using Dr. Martin's bleed proof ink, and I'm going to make a snowflake, no, not snowflake, but a snowflake on the Christmas ornament here, and then I'll use this little bit of dots around just to make it look like it's, you know, snow and such. And I will use this, the water wet on wet technique, a little bit of the purple that was already on my palette, and I wanted it to be like a snowbank around the trees. So I used a little bit of that in clear water, and then I went back in with a little bit of gray. And now I'm making the pine tree part of the tree, just that evergreen color, and just pretty much is making V shapes all the way down the branches of the tree. I tell y'all, this is the cutest but easiest little Christmas tree. I just love it. And now I'm using gold and making a little star to go on top. And then, you know, I get impatient, and it wasn't quite at the top of the tree, so I had to add a little bit of more Van Dyke Brown without it being dried, and it kind of bled, but I fixed it, no problem. Again, using the bleed proof ink and putting the snow onto the trees and down at the bottom where the snowbank is at, to make it look like it's in a little snowy forest. Now I'm putting the little part of the ornament that you hang from. I just used the silver metallic in the palette and just creating it. This ornament it didn't come out quite as the way that I wanted it to, and this makes the third time that I have done this video. The footage got lost and so I had to redo it. But I'm just finishing up the tree, putting some gold lines down below, and now I'm putting little white dots. I put little red, like little balls around it. I'm just trying to make this ornament look a little bit better, and y'all, the other two times I did it, it looked better. Now I'm just taking it off the block, and we'll cut it up and create the 4 cards. And yeah, I really love doing this. It's so fast. I think it took me an hour to do all 4 cards, so not long to do them, you know. So now I'm just cutting them to size to fit the envelope, or not the envelope, but the card backing, the card base. That's the word, card base. And now I'm just writing the statements that I want to write on them. This one I put Yuletide greetings, and we'll use double-sided tape to just put them down. Again, this is as fast. You know, you have a party to go to, you forgot to get something, so here, make this card really quickly. You know what I'm saying? Like a 5-minute card. I wrote Merry Christmas on this one and was a little off center, so I end up fixing it by putting 3 dots, and then I figure inside I can write and Happy New Year, you know. So that's just a way to fix when you make a mistake. And again, these are handmade, you're going to make mistakes. And I put Happy Holidays on the ornament and Merry Christmas in the wreath, and kind of went around the letters so that it looks more like it was calligraphy. And you can see on the left side, those are some of the cards that I have done before. So yeah, and then final touches, I just went over, used silver to put lines on the ornament and gold to put lines on the Christmas tree, not worrying if they were straight or not. Okay, so there we have it. Our 4 cutie patootie little holiday greeting cards. I think they turned out super duper cute. My favorite is always this one. I do it almost every year, and I really like this. I need to work, and this is one of the things I'm going to work on next year, so you might see a lot of it, is my composition for wreaths, just bouquets and stuff like that. I really need to work on my composition. So that is my plan for next year, is to take some lessons in that and be more comfortable in it. But yeah, I had fun making them regardless, and I hope that you enjoyed them. Which one was your favorite? Comment down below. And if you are enjoying this series, if it's inspiring you, if you're creating cards, if you're crafting, hit the like button, subscribe if you've not subscribed, share if you so incline, and I will see you tomorrow for another day of Craftmas. All right, y'all be good to one another, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.